Nnuano ye mama kwa baba na nyina TV so. Na ene ye baya eye SDA hospital Dominase na omato ye enkrai. Eye SDA hospital Dominase hospital bi a ewo Bekwai Ashanti region Potem ho. Na eye 15th of May 2025 omo celebrate eye Neonatal Jaundice Day. Neonatal Jaundice Day edabia omo yisi ho se jaundice se apemfo no omo ba no omo ba bewo a bosomem no mu no anya yi kra no nipa be 12 to 13 de enkora no na omo wo jaundice na nurse specialist penyina owo ho no Beatrice Jampare kan say enya de a eboa enti omodwen ho se ombe create awareness no mo ne apemfo no ene emma na ewo mpotam ho no akasa omo cheche omo kon be fa so a ebeboa ma jaundice ya omoma no eso ate na akofom na ayasa afa ne ntomapa afura ewo Ashanti region SDA hospital Dominase mpotam ho na we na enam so a omode adesrede efa ententan so say staff ananka ewo SDA hospital a na say omatu kwan abedi anonen efra omo diaspora staffs no omo anan na omo kan hummom na omo ntwa omo ni mehwe hospital no emfa mfidie bi te say phototherapy machine.
Bilirubin and jaundice is a very normal finding in newborn babies. Bilirubin is the accumulation of a breakdown product in the baby's blood. Jaundice is what happens when that is elevated and it becomes yellow in their skin. So jaundice needs treatment if the bilirubin level gets really high in the baby's blood. If that level gets really high, it can cause harm in the baby's eyes, brain, and deposit in their skin. So we monitor it to make sure that it's not getting to those dangerous levels, and we'll treat it. If jaundice isn't treated and it is in those really high zones, it can deposit in the baby's brain and cause a disease called kernicterus that leads to long-term brain damage. Certain babies are more at risk for jaundice. Ones that are born early, preterm, late preterm babies, their livers just aren't working really well. They're used to the mom's liver working and helping to get rid of that bilirubin. We can assist that with the blue lights if needed, if the level is getting too high. But the most important thing is that babies are eating well, that is, taking good breast milk, formula, or donor human milk, so that they are making good wet and dirty diapers and getting rid of it on their own. So we measure babies' bilirubin frequently in the first day. We're trying to catch any babies that are developing jaundice early on to a dangerous level. We measure it with a skin check. It's called a transcutaneous meter, and it checks either the chest or the forehead level. If that level is high, then we'll check them from the blood. The way that we do that is through the heel stick. And those blood levels will be what determine whether they need phototherapy. Phototherapy are blue lights that we use to help get the baby's bilirubin levels down. The baby's bilirubin, if it gets to be too high and we're worried about it, we'll use these blue lights. It'll help the baby convert that bilirubin into a more easily excretable form that they'll get rid of in their wet and dirty diapers. Babies also need to wear goggles underneath the blue lights. The lights are really bright and the babies have been in a dark environment for a long time. So we're using that to help reduce any strain on the babies or discomfort. If we notice that the baby's bilirubin levels are high or they're jaundiced in the hospital, we will treat the baby while they're in the hospital. If it happens in those first few days after taking the baby home, you can also be treated at home. If the baby's being treated in the hospital, we use both an overhead phototherapy and a blanket. They're really strong. It helps to get that level down pretty quickly. If the baby's being treated at home, they can use just the Billy blanket, and it works, but it's not quite as strong as that overhead light. So if babies need phototherapy, we can usually treat it to a safe level within 24 hours. There's a few babies that continue to make more bilirubin and are jaundiced for longer than that. We need to keep them for a few extra days, but most babies we can treat them and send them home with you within that 24 hours. You can also take the baby out of the lights for about 20 to 30 minutes every 3 hours for some skin-to-skin time or for feedings. Parents should watch for yellowing in the baby's skin. The yellowing in the baby's skin will progress from their head down to their belly and their entire body. If you notice it's developing over their whole body, then that can be a dangerous level of jaundice. If the baby is darker skin toned, you can press on their skin for a few seconds, look underneath that, and see if it's yellow tinged. Also, you can check the whites of their eyes to see if they're yellow in the eyes. Any of those could be concerns that you'd want to take the baby to the pediatrician to get it checked. After the first 4 to 5 days, if the baby is making nice green, yellow stools, then they're getting rid of their jaundice on their own, and it's not a concern for us anymore. So many parents will ask if putting their baby in the sun is enough treatment. And we don't recommend babies to be directly in the sun because that also has UV rays and that can damage the baby's skin. We will suggest to put babies near a sunny window. Most windows have some protection from the UV rays, and it allows some indirect sunlight to help. And that will help a little bit with treating babies' jaundice, but it's not anywhere near as good of a treatment or as safe as using the blue lights that we have. Once a baby starts phototherapy for jaundice, we do want to monitor it pretty closely in those first 4 to 5 days to make sure that it doesn't bounce back, even after we get it to a low level. So if they've been on lights in the hospital, we'll want them to follow up with their pediatrician maybe the next day.
Phototherapy machine yɛ machine bi a ɛyɛ sɛ yɛwɔ akora na sɛ ɔwɔ jaundice a yɛde ne tum kakra ma emu rays ne light no etimi hwɛ ɛyi jaundice ne nyinaa efiri ankora no ho. Na yɛtwa yɛni na sɛ yɛde bi bɛdom ɔmo a hospital na yɛnya bɛɛ du ɛkɔ aduonu koraa na yɛde bɛdom ɔmo a in fact ɛbɛboa hospital no na ɛnso hɔ anka ɔmo mfa ɛyɛ digital thermometer.
A digital thermometer from Paramed is a universal device for accurate body temperature measurement. It works on 3 modes and measures temperature orally, rectally, and axillary. How to use a thermometer. To measure the temperature, press the on-off button and place it into the measuring location. The thermometer will notify you with a signal when the results are ready. The signal notifies you that the temperature measuring speed has dropped. Therefore, we advise you to keep it in the measuring location for a little longer. How to measure temperature orally. Place the thermometer under the tongue, close your mouth, and breathe through your nose. The flexible device tip allows you to do this very easily. After the signal, you can remove the device and see the result. Do not consume cold or hot drinks before measurement. How to measure temperature rectally. This method is considered the most accurate. You should place the sensor approximately 1.5 centimeters into the anus during temperature measurement, ensuring that the metal tip is fully inserted. The signal will notify you when the measurement is complete. Do not forget to clean the thermometer before and after use. For most accurate results, do not measure a child's body temperature after a warm bath or after the child has been crying. These actions increase the body temperature for some time. Therefore, the results will not be accurate. How to measure temperature axillary. This is the easiest measuring method. You need to switch on the thermometer, place it under your armpit, and wait for results. During axillary measurement, we advise you to keep the thermometer in place for another minute after the signal in order to allow the device to average the results. Do not measure temperature this way while you are dressed or after a bath or a hot drink. What the flashing L symbol means. It means that the air temperature is not high enough for the thermometer reading. That is, it is below 32 degrees Celsius. This is not a low battery warning. It is just a sign to place the thermometer in a location where it will be able to measure the body temperature. How to change the measuring unit. To change the measuring units from Celsius to Fahrenheit, you need to press and hold the on-off button for 4 seconds. To return to Celsius, repeat the action. How to clean the thermometer. The thermometer from Paramed is water resistant. Therefore, we advise you to wash it with cold, soapy water before and after each use, or use a disinfectant. Paramed's digital thermometer will become a true friend and helper in temperature measurement. Use it correctly and be healthy.
Adjustable beds, incubators, and hospital beds. Nema bibria, in fact, say the Babwa hospital na ambu bags, and a pulse oximeter, and nomne, Sanya money no. Yamfa bi Mbedum hospital no na Emma ayarhwe entumpon ewo Dominase. Na yentwa yani mehwe samra eja honom no yeso yebeboa na eho atumpon na emiti standard ne se ne omabehia wo Europe no enti omode adesrede enam edai ya omodi yi so se diaspora nurse no omuntwa nurses and staffs no omuntwa omani emra mehwe SD hospital na ondum omo infidie ne akande ebeboa ama hospital no agina abrane sa adisi dia na ekoso nurse panyina ewo ho Madam Cecilia abomodin akweti group a ebekeka diaspora si ehun abom se ne beya dankwa ma bi se bibiba na se yetimi kan ehun bom a yetimi atwa yani aba beso mo hospital na eno so aboa ni disem ene nkwanhye sema in fact diaspora staff no do na ate no omani age ho na omo keka omo ho abom se ne beya da chankwa ma bia no omrebo omo ho no maba be ma hospital no so asi ho se ne yese na efata enwanom omenkonkohwe video no na yen hwe emra omodi omoda no ene niema na ekoso ho ene omade se dia omade to dwa no menkonko TV.
Bosumi odiesi obodewuro edefa jaundice yade a yebeka se egunu yade no eho nene ubepia santema ntemu bekwa mensini mu a abetodwa se yade ne yade a ekoso enanso ezi ayasabia no Dominase wafa ato on so ne awofo beye ntete na tumi aboa amasa yade watumi abrenase esanso manfo dodo na nenimdie efa yade a egunu yade ni ntino abetodwa so bepiem bekwa mensini mu a enkoda dodo na yade eka won bra wa won foforo kra Mami Beatrice Boayima dakwa pediatric specialist ewo SDA Dominase ayasabia no
ahase ye bia ye neonatal admissions fa enya sanketo ye admit 40-30 between 30 and 40 every month say ye gi omu a ana ye gi omawo a emu 12 13 ebu 14 omu nyina neonatal jaundice ya party ye ho so ti ye be create awareness ama education ama obi a onni neonatal jaundice bia no wahunu ade ade ba yenya incubator CPAP machine ye pe firefly phototherapy ye wo ba ko pe no question ambu back enioma ye de hwenkola ye hia bi pa ankrakre omo ebi wo mo nsem omo mo ezi hospital Dominase.
Deputy Director in charge of Nursing Services, Mami Cecilia Ampofo.
Jaundice letimi extra eko abapane na adwene. Enti adwene no so no, ani na ekuta ye nipadua ni nyina. Nti etimi embase oba na ontimi nkasa. Ebetimi abase na so enti asem. Nti atutu a ne de ma abakan ene se obia wo a oma na namo enye ntenti aka ne ba ne metre
akwemu ye ne awofo bi a wo ma enya asa yade bi on edi nkomo
I can't say me bana to okra no me ku ka say ompene what of say ada ha say ache into ompene yan pa kware nko fie nanso ma ma ni na chi Meje doctors one nurse for to my ya de by to ho. And then me be when ya hoden. Ama wo from sesi a na me da wo must be.
Me wo no be 3 days and I'm who send any na yellow. And some boy what den buy no. Into afi de me be na nani aye coming.
Ni mpanimfo a wono mo ezie Dominase ayasabea edi tudwa ne se emprempre obehia emfidi a betumi aboa ma ebunu yade bi eka nkwada a obetumi aboa asa won yade.
Oxygen as your pop, now be one of pop. And running piano one bread, I did a swap, but one night I saw I shall get air come. How for? Oh, how for more? Mother Roma, I said, be coming. Said it was simple how you say I am a mom. And then I'll walk you on. Namupa, yeah, woman. What do you want to say? Almost you. I think Namupa some bad one. Just a few more temper, if you know what temper. And now some people, Mother Roma, if you the one thing say, oh, pop, about your uti. Say, we just say, watching. Say, I want to go on. Me, one,